everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, your favorite YouTube harpy. And I have a kind of interesting, fun, little sort of speculative video to make here. I am going to go ahead and predict that Black Panther will not win the Oscar. It has been nominated. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. I made a video not too long ago where we talked about the crazy people on Twitter losing their goddamn minds, calling the Golden Globes racist for not letting Black Panther win. And I remember calling them homophobic for it, for not liking Bohemian Rhapsody, because seriously, you can't call an awards ceremony like racist when they're voting for and giving the award to the movie that features the gay man who died of AIDS. It just doesn't work like that. It just makes you look stupid when you start doing that sort of thing. When this loses, and I believe it's going to lose, I really, in my heart, I feel it will probably lose because it is a superhero movie. I'm going to be laughing. I'll probably make a video saying, yes, I was right. And I'm probably going to find a lot of people on Twitter who are tweeting out that the Oscars are racist, the Oscars aren't representative enough, the Oscars aren't woke enough, whatever. And I'm going to laugh because it's going to be kind of hilarious. So here's the thing about the Oscars. This is why I really don't think it'll win. A, it's a superhero movie. Superhero movies are big action-y things. They're popcorn movies. They get the masses into the seats. The Oscars always seemed and felt so exclusive, so elitist. You get nominations and wins for these sort of snooty art house movies that not a lot of people watch, that don't really get a wide release a lot of the time. Not your big budget, huge, record-breaking sort of movies. I can't actually remember a time when the record-breaking movies won Oscars, except for maybe Heath Ledger, but that was because he had passed away, I believe. Partly got him that Oscar, which really, really sucks because he did a great job as the Joker. I don't see this winning, though. I really don't, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get like the big budgety box office smash sort of movies winning Oscars. What wins? Art house movies that no one's ever heard of. I think The Favorite might be pretty high up. I think that might actually win, or maybe A Star Is Born. See, here's the thing about a lot of the Oscar people, like the voting committee, like the Oscar, what are they called? They have a little name. I can't remember what they're called. I kind of picture them as like these old Hollywood types, the old elitist Hollywood types. Even like your Kathleen Kennedys and your old studio execs, your old producers, your old actors from way back. And they get these little screeners, and a lot of the times they vote for what movie they think is the most heavily dramatic. They vote for the movie that they think is the stuffiest or the most probably emotionally manipulative sort of movies. I don't think Black Panther is that. I think that a lot of the Oscar voters are going to be viewing it as, oh, that's just that stupid superhero movie that everybody liked because, it was representative and it represented the Black community. Sure, whatever. I think that might be what they are going to think about this. I could be wrong, and I could make a video the day after the Oscars saying, oh crap, I was wrong about that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's going to win? I don't think it's going to win. I get a lot of people in my comment sections telling me what they thought of Black Panther. They think, a lot of the time I will see, oh, it was okay, it was pretty good, it wasn't Oscar worthy, it was decent, it was like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I see a lot of those sort of comments, and from my audience, particularly you guys liked it for the most part, but it wasn't Oscar worthy, it wasn't Golden Globes worthy, it wasn't better than Infinity War. And I think at the end of the day, it might hurt it because they went with the superhero movie that wasn't the best one of the year. They probably should have gone for Infinity War because that's kind of one of those major event movies. That one should have won. I think that one probably had more of a dramatic theme and story arc, because how many times can you see just a superhero sort of origin movie, sort of like the first of the superhero to set up that character sort of movie? You get them all the time. You get at least one a year. that's another reason I don't think the Oscars are going to go to Black Panther. So let's see. Is there anything really interesting on this that we have to read through real quick? Tuesday morning, 10 years after Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight forced a significant paradigm shift at the Academy Awards, a superhero movie was finally nominated for Best Picture, Marvel's Black Panther, and it represents a fairly remarkable culmination. The move from 5 Best Picture nominees to 10, later altered to a system that can produce anywhere from 5 to 10, was largely owed to the Motion Pictures Academy infamous dismissal of The Dark Knight in 2008. The goal was to find room for deserving popular films in the lineup, and as one of the biggest critical hits of this year, with major recognition from the producers, directors, and the Writers Guild, Nolan's Batman's sequel certainly qualified. The change helped, at least at first. Movies like District 9, Up, Inception, and Toy Story 3 arguably owned the Best Picture bids to the expanded field. Soon, however, the wide berth gave way for more of the usual, while films like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, Skyfall, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Inside Out, and Wonder Woman were left on the sidelines. Well, see, this is why they were trying to do that popular movie category, and then they backed down. And I think it was probably a good idea because, if you have the best popular movie, then they can still give it to their stuffy art house awards. But no, they backed down and they just shoved Black Panther in there anyway. It's like, well, you're probably going to lose because you shoved it into a category it probably didn't fit in. If you put it as best popular movie, then yeah, it should absolutely have won. But it's not. I don't think it's going to be as good as some of the other Best Picture nominees on the list as far as Oscar movies are concerned. And what I mean by Oscar movies, the art house, the independent-y, sort of stuffy, super dramatic, for a while we had a sort of trend of like, okay, the Forrest Gump type one, or My Left Foot, or Sling Blade. We had, and Rain Man. We had that sort of trend of, people like differently abled. Nell, I think. Didn't Nell win? Nell might have won as well. So we had that sort of trend for a while. And those are what I always consider to be like Oscar movies. And this is why I can kind of see something like The Favorite sliding into that because, period piece, lesbians, British, total Oscar bait right there. Total Oscar bait. Absolutely. I think I'm going to put my money on that. I think just because that's the one I want to see the most out of all of these that I haven't. I do kind of want to see Star is Born because I tend to watch every incarnation of it at some point, and I do like Lady Gaga a little bit. She's all right. Ongoing status quo eventually led to the Academy's ill-fated push for a popular Oscar award. That's what I just said, given last year, but it was clearly the wrong year to do it, given the presence of the popular contenders like Bohemian Rhapsody, A Star is Born, and indeed Black Panther. With $700 million in domestic box office receipts, and Ryan Coogler's Marvel juggernaut became the third highest grossing film of all time on these shores. Worldwide, it has accumulated north of $1.3 billion. Its nomination, it makes it the third highest grossing Best Picture nominee ever, behind James Cameron's Avatar and Titanic. See, I didn't like either of those. I really didn't like Avatar or Titanic, and I don't think that they probably deserved Oscar nominations. I mean, they were very much movies for everybody. And Oscars, like I said, they're these tiny little niche things. With what Ryan was doing, we had to say, and vouching for crew members that we had not worked with before, but that he believed in, he came in and blew us away with that initial sort of presentations to get the job. Producer Kevin Feige told Variety's Playback podcast in December, for them to have stepped up and knocked it out of the park in the way they did is incredible. It comes down to a filmmaker who has such a deft hand at being able to balance something that is going to have entertainment value with being true to his soul and being true to the questions he had growing up. For Marvel Studios, it's all the sweeter as the company is set to tie the bow on 11 years of storytelling with this summer's Avengers Endgame, which I think will probably be pretty deserving of an Academy Award this year in something. It's probably in Best Picture if the movie is good, because it is one of those massive event movies. If the movie is terrible, then no, it won't deserve anything, but I'm kind of leaning on it'll probably be good, but I'm cautious. Feige and his team are fresh off a crowning 10th anniversary year that saw Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War becoming their biggest domestic and worldwide successes, respectively, not to mention one that saw the passing of a legendary comic creator, Stan Lee. Oh, now there's the wild card. They might give a Marvel movie an award because of Stan Lee. That might possibly give it a little bit more of an edge. Oh, I hadn't considered that. What do you guys think? Do you think Stan Lee's passing will kind of give the Marvel movies a little more push in the Oscars? That could be a wild card. I don't know. Nevertheless, despite raging box office success, the unwavering support of film critics, cultural messaging that helped it transcend genre, and the vocal rallying of proponents on the sidelines, Black Panther still came into this year's Oscar season as a significant underdog. Yeah, see, it is an underdog. Okay, they are admitting it is. It was a comic book movie, and not only that, it was one that connected specifically with an audience that yearned for what it represented, which was the third superhero movie featuring an African-American lead character. Because they like to say it was the first. I know everybody forgets about Spawn and Blade, but whatever. While perhaps lacking that urgency with an underwriting industry demographic prone to viewing it as mere entertainment. Still, film's campaign, led by seasoned consultants who knew very well how steep that hill was, hit several key marks along the way. Black Panther received nominations from the Producers and Writers Guild, and noteworthy SAG-AFTRA Ensemble bid, and a Drama Best Picture notice at the Golden Globes, and a bounty of industry recognition besides that indicated it was a serious contender. But it lost, and the internet lost their damn minds, and it was kind of hilarious. Now here it sits, the first superhero film ever nominated for Hollywood's top prize. A year ago, James Mangold's Logan became the first superhero movie to receive recognition in the writing categories. So perhaps on one hand, a stigma is slowly receding. On the other hand, Black Panther was an undeniable cultural milestone. The Academy would have been foolish to pass on the opportunity to recognize it. See, and I think that's okay to nominate something that you know isn't going to win, just to kind of say, yes, we acknowledge you, you're here, we do see you, and give it the pat on the head. It's like, yes, we understand you're a very important movie. Coogler's film was also nominated for costume design, the original score, original song, production design, sound editing, sound mixing, and it joined in the Best Picture lineup by Black KKK Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star is Born, and Vice. So, like I said, my favorite to win is The Favorite. I'm gonna push for that, even though usually the Golden Globes tend to be just a pre-show of the Oscars, which means Bohemian Rhapsody has kind of the edge, I think, in what has been nominated. What do you guys think? What do you think is gonna win? Do you think Black Panther is actually going to have a chance in hell, or do you think it's just going to be a cute little pat on the head acknowledgement? Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I am Mecha Random 42, and I will see you guys on the next video or live stream. Bye! Thanks for watching! If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!